Welcome back, guys. Last time I think we're doing conversations over wine. Today we're doing conversations with water in a champagne glass. So yeah, welcome back, guys. Thank you for everyone that watched my first video. Um, yeah, I was a bit shy, I think. But I had a lot of things to say and I was rambling. But I think it was a good conversation nonetheless. So today, what we'll be talking about is hope in the midst of you dealing with a chronic illness. I think the reason why that is such an important conversation is that I guess from my last conversation, we were talking about how chronic illness affects how you navigate relationships. Today is just how you navigate the path that you take in terms of you getting to acceptance and getting to a more realistic way of dealing with what the situation is. Um, so yeah, I think that's what I wanted to touch on. Is what role does hope play in my life and in my life dealing with a chronic illness that is not well understood, and dealing with the fact that there is no answer to the questions that I have in my head, like why did it happen to me, why is there no cure, all of those things, what's really happening in my body. And in pursuit of the answers to those questions that I just asked myself now is, there's a lot of answers that are brought, that are not validated, right? Like with anyone that's on a quest to find answers, you'll always find people that are willing to expose you to a different world and all of that. So this is basically what I wanted to touch on, because I guess in situations like this, there's really no scientific way to validate whether the answer is right or wrong. And for me, that's what I wanted to talk about and how that has affected me over the years, and all of that. So, yeah. So, I'm just going to start specifically with this year, and then I guess as we go through with the story, it will make more sense why this conversation became important, for me to kind of deal with and then confront. So, this year started with me bubbly as always. Started the year on a high, right? And like physical symptoms were a minimum, doing well. My fiber was behaving. And I was like, yeah, I think I've got the rhythm now. I'm happy. Life is going well. I'm just about to start work. So everything was perfect, right? As one would think. And, when everything's going well, that, all your problems are kind of put sideways. So the year starts, and literally weeks into the year, starts with, a soap, like a sore back, and my hand is a bit sore and all of that. And if you have ever had chronic illness, you'll know how painful this thing is. Once you've gotten through a point of, yay, I'm doing it all, yay, I'll be fine, yay, I'm at my happiest, and boom, it hits. And that familiar pain hits you, and you're like, oh, everything I thought I have conquered, I haven't conquered now, so yeah, basically that's what happened. I hadn't conquered anything. My biggest enemy was back, which is the chronic illness. My fiber was, you know, bad. So fine. I had to deal with the reality of that and the reality of the fact that I needed to navigate that with work, right? I get to work and then I realize, oh, Midupi doesn't have sick leave days, and that's sad. So yeah, I didn't have sick leave days. So this year was particularly difficult because I couldn't afford myself a break as much as I wanted to. Where a recovery time would have been a week, now it had to be a day or two, and so forth, because girl doesn't have sick leave days. and understanding that the fact that I've been having this chronic illness in my professional environment for more than 5 years now. So there wasn't really much to ask for, right? It was just, okay, that's the reality of the situation. You're sick. Now you can't take leave as much as you wanted to. What are you going to do? So now it basically means you have to work, be very productive in the midst of pain, you know? Excruciating pain, that is. You would spend the whole night up because you're in so much pain, and then in the morning you're like, good morning everybody, it's another day at work, we're going to ace this thing. And at that time it's like you're also progressing in life, right? Your goals and dreams are becoming bigger than what you had thought. So yeah, so basically that was the beginning of my year. um, and then second month into the year, I'm like, okay, I've done a hospital run. Uh, I'm on pain meds almost every day. So what's next, right? So the I've got a doctor that diagnosed me a few years ago. I think 2019 that is. They diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. So I'm like, okay, I'll see the doctor. She'll probably have answers for me. Every time I've gone to see her, she seemed like she was concerned about the fact that I'm not coping. The fact that I'm not coping on a day to day. So I was like, I need that from her. I need her to give me some sort of answer. She gave me, you're not alone. You can conquer this. Called her offices. They're like, no, doctor is only available in like in the month of May. That time I'm in Feb. I'm thinking May is like so far out. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'll skip. Right. Time goes by. Didn't book the appointment. Pain continues. It continues over there. The next few months, obviously, there's drama at work and. So that's basically where I'm at. Come May, like I'm out of answers. Medical aid depleted. All of the options that I had at my disposal that were easy to access gone. Right. Now I'm like I'm looking for another answer. Like I'm trying to figure out. So in the midst of me going through this, it's like, everyone that's part of my immediate circle is like they're comforting me, but it's like, what else do we say? We've been saying this for over 15 years. Um, what's more that we can say that will make you feel better in the midst of this thing? Because for me, it all boils down to one thing. I just want the pain to go, right? And I don't think anyone in my immediate circle has the know-how of how they get the pain to go, right? I mean, I've had several options in terms of that were positioned to me in terms of how can I navigate this. I mean, it went from spiritual things to, you know, like medical and so forth. There are a lot of coping mechanisms put at my disposal and presented by the people that I love and I hold dearly. So that should have been just like, okay, cool. I hear you. Let's do it type of moment. But um, I guess there's always been so much resistance, right, around me trying an alternate route, right? And for me, thinking that this thing has a medical term, so why would I seek, answers elsewhere? Because like medically, I have a condition, it has been labeled, and all of that. Like, why would I think that there's something else out there for me to explore? So that was my kind of rationale. Um, in the time and with whatever options were proposed to me, I was like, okay, cool, I'll stick to the medical route. It has a name. I'll basically read up on what the coping mechanisms are and I'll take it from there. So yeah, that was me and in that period. And I'm like, okay, cool. These were options. And I just want to take you to the theme of what I'm trying to talk is hope, right? Hope basically means in whatever reality they've painted for you, you hope things will get better. The situation will be more manageable. Whatever manageable means. Is it being cured completely and being healed? Or is it being able to cope day to day? So in that hope discussion, I mean, I've had a lot of conversations on how to manage the pain, from friends giving me painkillers, the strongest painkillers that are out there, to friends just being, a pick me up. Um, and I think as much as hope is such a positive thing, it also becomes such a negative thing, especially on the days where, with everything that you've done to bottle up this positivity and make sure that it's within you and that's all you're breathing, you still wake up and it's painful. You can't walk as long as you want to. You can't even do gym. I haven't done gym in the past 6 months, which is something that is taboo for me because So, how do we remain hopeful in the midst of us trying to, you know, to hold on to what gave us hope, right? And if what gave us hope doesn't work out, what is the next thing to do? And I think that's kind of where I'm trying to get to, right? To say, with hope comes the management of expectations, because you will not always have it figured out, and whatever you're trying out is not guaranteed to work. But I guess if you have the mind of a child, every time you try something new, you try out something new, I guess it makes all the difference. I guess that's what people tell us, and I guess that's what I had chosen to believe.